Welcome back to the Artie Lange Show. We're here with Taran Killam from Saturday Night Live, and you were telling me during the break that your wife is on How I Met Your Mother. She's
That's
a
right.
regular.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Kobe Smulders.
Kobe Smulders.
Yes.
She's a regular on How I Met Your Mother, and you have a child.
Yeah, that's right.
She lives in L.A. You go back and forth. So I mean, you're the direct opposite of someone like who didn't do something with their life. You should be very happy. Like you're in life.
I'm ready to retire at 40. Like I'm ready to be done.
So now, how old? You have one child?
She turns 4 in May. Yeah.
Okay, so this is like an insane situation you have going
It is. It's hard. I miss them. I like them. I like being around them. But yeah, good problems to have. And there's also like there's a limited window. You know what I mean? Like her series could be wrapping up soon, and
it's been on a long time. It's in syndication
it's
already.
Finishing its 8th season. Yeah.
She been there from the beginning?
She has. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's great.
Our first date was the night after the table read for her pilot.
Oh my God!
And she was like, "Yeah, I got this pilot." Like, "Oh, good luck with that."
Yeah. It's a great run. 8 years.
I know.
That Seinfeld level, 8 years right there.
It's crazy.
It's already in syndication. That's beautiful. Well, congrats, man. On all
Thanks.
that.
Yeah, we're actually neighbors-ish with the Callens, Brian Callen.
Oh, Brian. I got him an old man TV buddy. One of my good friends. Brian.
Dainty, effeminate kind of guy.
Very
He'd
much.
want me to say that about him.
Yeah. Do you get along with Brian?
I love Brian.
Yeah, Brian's
he's the best.
He's a funny guy. So, okay, so now you get the gig. Now there's 13 people in the cast, including Seth, who does Weekend Update.
Correct.
13. Okay. Now, is Seth the head writer right now?
He is. Yeah, he's sharing it with Colin Jost.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now, what is it like getting there and the competitive part that you hear about? Getting characters on, getting stuff into dress rehearsal, and then was it a struggle for you now? You're in your 3rd year.
The benefit of being born after the show was created is that I've been a student of the show for forever.
Right.
So I've read the books, the interviews, I know the do's and don'ts, and the competitive aspect is just built into it. There's only 8 spots for 14 people, and someone's going to get burned every week. The nice thing about this era is all the people are nice people. Truly, everybody gets caught up in their own thing. Of course, we're performers, but it's a very nice
It's a good time to be there.
It's a great time to be there.
Yeah, because sketch comedy especially can be filled with really like backstab, like the worst of show business.
Definitely. Yeah, and you see that, like I've seen some of that in the past, and there's really not a lot of that, which is nice. That being said, it's the hardest job in the world.
It is.
It's so hard.
Now, are you in a lot this week? Are you in a lot of stuff?
This week I'm not. This week I got a lighter show. But I'm happy to kind of sit back this week, just because it's Justin and there's a bunch of special guests, secret guests coming. And
so because it's him and it's because it's Saturday Night Live, a bunch of like guest stars
I'll wander the floor and just with a big smile on my face. Yeah.
I've been there a couple of times for tapings. I went with Norm and Spade.
You're in one of my favorites, the Will Ferrell, Billy Joel one.
Again,
one of my favorites.
I'm sitting there. I go to visit Norm.
You get a shout out.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. I go to visit Norm, and I'm like, it's actually it was the night of the series finale for Mad TV, which I had taped something for.
Oh, wow.
So the series finale of Mad TV's on, and I taped something. I'm on that, and I forgot about it. And I go say hi to Norm, and I'm sitting in Marcy Klein's office.
Right.
Calvin Klein's daughter, Marcy, is a producer for the Saturday Night Live. She's actually been there. She's still there, right, Marty?
Yeah, she's still coming.
Yeah, and she's like a legendary figure there now.
Yeah.
And we're sitting in her office just messing around while the show's going on. And then she says to me, "Oh, you have to come on stage." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She goes, "Well, this last sketch, everyone who's a celebrity in the building is going to go in." And I'm like, "Well, Tom Hanks is here." I said, "So when you say celebrity, like,
it's a big gamut.
Well, yeah.
Ran the gamut.
There's Forrest Gump, and then it's me.
Right.
So they're like, "No, you have to come. You have to come." So the sketch was Will Ferrell and a couple other guys singing "Goodnight Saigon" by Billy Joel. And they just said, just have to sing the song, and all come on stage. So I walk on stage. Literally, it's Tom Hanks, Anne Hathaway, and then me,
Paul Rudd,
Paul Rudd, all these people, and Will, who I've worked with a few times. I've been in a couple of movies with Will. Didn't know I was there till I walked on stage.
Oh, really?
And just he overlooks Tom Hanks, and everybody just goes, "Artie Lange is here." And it was like the greatest moment of my life.
It's awesome. You know who didn't get that?
Oh,
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks. Yeah,
Tom Hanks didn't get a shout out.
I think he was afraid.
They took that for granted. I'm like, Tom Hanks is here.
This is where the Stern audience is so cool, because I had been on Howard for like 8 years. We're walking off the stage, and again, it's Tom Hanks, it's Anne Hathaway, it's all these people, and an audience member yells out, "Artie Artie.
Yeah. Yeah.
I go, hey, listen, thank God for the Stern people. I have an army with me.
Yeah. That had to feel great.
It did. It felt great. Even normally hit me with, hey, man, that was great.
Yeah.
So you don't, so it's not a lot of, because there's two factions in sketch comedy. You got the people who come from stand-up.
Right.
And the sketch people who are real talented people who are, I think, tend to be more supportive. So the 3 years you've been there, you haven't seen a lot of like that backstabbing thing where
there's honestly
stealing material.
No backstabbing.
Right.
It hurt feelings, of course, just fragile egos and stuff, of course, but truly no malice.
Right.
Which is
great.
really nice.
That's good to hear.
Very, very nice.
Now, at Howard, I had a similar thing where by the time I got on the Howard Stern show, it's a legendary, iconic thing.
Yeah.
The first 2 weeks I'm there was after 9/11, and Paul McCartney came in. Wow. And Paul McCartney and Howard are talking, and I said to myself, like what you're talking about with the Timberlake show, kind of like, okay, listen, I'm not going to say a word. I said to myself, nobody wants to hear me say something. They want to hear Howard Stern and Paul McCartney have a conversation. They talked for an hour, and it was the most fascinating. He's talking about how he sent Yoko Ono over to John Lennon's house as a joke. He met her first. Like these insane stories. Wow. And again, you're going through a similar thing where these people probably just show up who are legends, who are kind of maybe your heroes.
Absolutely.
And you have to sort of just, it's a weird, because you also have to work too. So it's a weird line to walk.
You're disillusioned very quickly. I mean, you are like you're starstruck, you're in awe.
Right.
And that still happens, but at some point you have to go, hey, Robert De Niro, can you say, get away from me, fart mouth louder, please? To really sell the joke, Robert De Niro. I really need you to say the fart mouth part really loud. Raging Bull.
You realize you're doing comedy with these people.
It's just a guy like.
Don't ruin this.
And it's an equal, like that. The 8H, the studio.
Yeah.
You have people like Robert De Niro, and you have these huge stars. We just had Christoph Waltz, and they're out of their element. The best, and the nicest guy, and they're out of their element. I mean, they're wide-eyed. You know what I mean? So it's a really great like.
This year you had Martin Short on, and
he's the best.
Yeah. So like I saw a little bit of that show.
Yeah.
He's another guy that I've worked with on and on. He had his own talk show that I was a guest on for. Oh my God, just the funniest guy on the planet, right? Just, for sketches.
Still just as sharp. Honestly, still just as good.
Did you get to do something with him?
A little bit, yeah. A little bit, but just watching his monologue and watching him work a crowd, you know, there's something where, you know, we do rehearsals all week. You do a run through at 8 for like a live audience, and then there's the show. It's
a lot of work,
and just the real performers and the people who've done live and the people who've done stand up tend to do very well at this. Really step it up in front of the audience.
Now, have you ever had a sketch that you really had your heart set on doing that went well in dress rehearsal that got cut for the regular show?
I'm pretty cut and dry. I know as it's happening at dress, like, oh, well, this is fun to dress up as a merman. You know, this is not happening. But it's more at the table. Like we do is table read of 40 sketches that are all written Tuesday night.
Unbelievable.
And that's heartbreast alley right there. Like,
now,
come on, people chuckle, and you know they can only choose 14.
I know, man. It's sketch is crazy, but now do you involve in the writing process a lot?
Yeah.
You have to be.
A lot of
I tell people all the time, I have writer's credit on 2 Mad TVs because they took stuff that I wrote verbatim. But people say like even though you don't have a writer's credit, the way to get on a sketch show as a performer, you have to write.
Nobody knows your voice better than you.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, and not coming from stand-up, which are hard jokes, and a lot of the Harvard Lampoon guys who are there, you know, there's sort of like a legacy on the show of Harvard Lampoon people come. They really have a great understanding of hard jokes, and I don't. I have like, I'm wearing a belly shirt and I'm slipping around on cream. You know, it's like that's hard to explain.
Well,
you just have to do it.
You're doing so well, man, and you got a couple of movies coming out. You're going to be.
I do.
You have The Heat with Melissa McCarthy and Sandra Bullock in June.
Yeah.
And Grown Ups 2 you're in with Sandler and the guys.
Which was the best. That was like SNL fantasy camp. You know, hanging out, and Sandler I'm sure he is just the coolest.
I've gotten to know those guys a little bit. They're amazing.
A loyal guy that I just admire that.
He is. He's as loyal as it gets.
Yeah.
Well, listen, Taran, I know you're busy. Thanks for joining us, man.
Thank you for having me.
Please come back anytime. Good luck this week. And good luck with everything, brother.
Thank you.
All right. Pleasure to meet you.
Thanks, buddy.
Taran Killam from SNL. Check him out. We'll be back with the Artie Lange.
Thanks, guys.